Hello, I'm Leo. I'm the CTO of Sismo, and today we are going to do a workshop, and it's, I think, a pretty exciting one because we are going to live code, and deploy a Sybil-Resistant airdrop from privately aggregated data. And so this might seem a bit easy, but in fact, not that easy because we are going to use, to give on this airdrop some amount of token that depends on the data you are able to share. And this data can be on different accounts. And using zero knowledge proof, we are able to only disclose the data we want without revealing the account. So in its core, it will have Sybil-Resistant, privacy-preserving data aggregation, so aggregation from data from your very private wallet, your public ENS, from GitHub account, Twitter account, and stuff like that, without linking these accounts. And at the end, you will have a double spending protection also to avoid to be able to mint this token a lot of different time. So I propose to enter directly in the demo so you understand what happens directly. And so let's go. So all of this is called Airdrop. All is open source. You have a case study with it, which is very detailed. So you can later, I will send the QR code and the link at the end of the workshop, but you can dig into it and more understand the concept. But so we will see different important ones. So when we launch the app, we see that we have a claim token page. This claim token depends on action you made, for instance, here inside the Sismo community. So to have your token, you need at least to be part of the Sismo community member group. I will explain you what are groups later. You need also to have the Gitcoin passport holder with more than 15 for Sybil-Resistance. And then you have also optionals data you can share that will increase your amount of token. For instance, you can show that you were early community members on Sismo, that you used a factory, which is a product of Sismo I will show you later. And then you put just address where you want to receive this token. And you are going to prove that you have this different data using sign in with Sismo and Sismo Connect. That again, I will explain you later how it works. Yeah, just here we need a Wi-Fi. Okay, so here I arrive on my Sismo data vault. I am redirected. It's like a password manager where I have all my accounts that I imported once when I created my Sismo data vault. I can import other accounts whenever I want, like a password manager. And then here, Sismo Connect show me that Airdrop wants me to share some information. And this different data, different information will be taken from what we call data gems. These data gems are just data you are going to share and with anonymization around the owner of the data. Typically, here, this data, I have it from one account, but the other one, the factory users, is from another account. And by sharing all of that, I won't make any link using zero knowledge proof. So I can aggregate data from my very private wallet and some other from public wallets. So I do generate ZK proof. So here it's belong because it downloads all the groups of data of all the holders of the different data gem in the browser. And what happened here is that we find you generate the ZK proof where you prove who you are inside this group without revealing this account. So if the Wi-Fi is a bit slow, it takes a long time to download all the groups, basically. And these groups are Maple Tree, I will explain you later, but this is how the zero knowledge proof works. Okay, so here I share all the information. So we see that we have, so I'm connecting my token. Sorry, I need to change my network. But here we see that I'm available for 400 R token. I will redo the flow and hide some information, and you will see that it decreases. For instance, here, I won't show that I am a Sismo early user and that I am a factory user. And I can do again the ZK proof. Hope it will be faster this time. So now I have less token to claim. Let's claim it. The construct was deployed on Polygon. And so what we're going to do during the workshop is to code the Sismo community group and the Gitcoin passport groups and live deploy these contracts and test it at the end. Okay. So just a bit of theory to explain what happened. So in Sismo, you have this Sismo data vault where you can import all your accounts. Here we can see that I imported my Leo21.is address where I have my ENS, my Gitcoin passport, because my Gitcoin passport, all the different very public account I have, my Twitter, my GitHub. I have also a proof of humanity, which is inside, so it's already, all of that are already doxed. But on Sismo, I'm doing stuff with my very private wallet, so I don't want anyone to know it. When I import this, what we call data sources into the Sismo data vault, I can then share this granular piece of data. So this is called the data gen. The data gen is just a granular sovereign data. Here it will be, okay, on the Gitcoin passport groups of all the holders of a Gitcoin passport, I have 42 as a score inside it on my Leo21.is. And using Sismo Connect, which we call a crypto-native SSO, it's like a communication protocol between my very personal data and application, I am able to granularly reveal this data. So here we see again the flow. I sign in with Sismo from an app. I'm redirected to my Sismo data vault. I agree to share different data, and then I'm redirected to the applications. So what I can do exactly from this Sismo data vault, it's having a request of an authentication. For instance, here I can prove that I own the Leo21.is address, but I can prove also that I own a GitHub account, a Twitter account, and something else that is called a vault ID. I will explain you later how it works. And you can share some data gems. So just disclose that I am part of the Gitcoin passport groups with a score that is more than 15, but the application won't know that I have 42 in fact, and that I am also Sismo community members, but the application won't know from which accounts I am a Sismo community member. And finally, I have the message signature, which is at the end, and it serves to embed user intent. For instance, you can say, for example, for voting, you could say, I agree or I disagree. So it's really to embed user's intent. Here, I will put my Leo21.is address because I'm claiming my token on this address, and it's used for avoiding front running of my proof, because otherwise my proof could be front run by other address and claim for myself the token. Okay, so in Sismo Connect, what you are doing is just selectively disclose some data. It works using zero-knowledge proofs, so you have a prover in the Sismo data vault, and the application has the verifier and verifies this proof. So here, if I take back my data gem, I show you later. Sorry, my data gem I showed you before. I had a Gitcoin passport on my Leo21 with a value of 42. Using zero-knowledge proof, I can granularly selectively disclose that I have a score that is more than 15, and it's on and unknown. We don't know which account. Basically, all of this works using snapshotted encore groups. So in Sismo, you need to generate the groups, the Sismo data groups, with all the order of a Gitcoin passport and with the different values that it has, the different score that it has. In the same way, in the Sismo contributor, you have a different level to have different amount of token in the safe drops I showed you before, and you can disclose which value you have. All these groups has a group ID. I will show you later when we will code how to retrieve a group ID and how to create these groups using our factory or directly using our repository, which is an open source repository. So finally, this Sismo Connect, the flow, I already showed you, but it's very simple. You have a button in your front end. You do a Sismo Connect request where you request the data you want. The user generates it in his Sismo data vault to generate the ZK proof. The response, which is in fact the ZK proof, is sent back to the application that can verify it. It works on chain. We are deployed on 11 chains, so mainnet, Polygon, Unisys, Arbitrum, etc. And it also works off chain, so you have a TypeScript package that you can install into your application to verify the knowledge proof. So Sismo Connect response. So now we are going to do these slides, and we are to start this project. We are following a tutorial that we have made, which is on our documentation. I'm going to show you. So in build with Sismo Connect here, we have all our tutorial, the on-chain one, which is build a Sybil-Resistant airdrop from privately aggregated data, is basically what we're going to do. So I already set up some the repository, so we don't have to do it with the time we have. So when you launch it, you are redirected to this page. It's the main page. So it's a bit different from this one. Yeah, the chain are different. It's a bit different from the safe drop. It's a very easy template to start with. You have only the Sismo Connect button inside it, which is here. And we are going to create this request that allows us to have the data we want for the safe drop. So here we first want to generate this type of request. So we want to have the proof of a vault ID. I will explain you later what is it. Share data that you are a Sismo community member and that you have a Gitcoin passport more than 15. So let's come back to our repository. So when we do claim with Sismo, so here I've just launched it. I'm redirected to this page, so I can see that I have only connect to safe drop, so it's not the good application. I need to create an application using the factory. We are going to do it just right now. And here I'm only sharing the user ID. But we are going to add also the different proofs that you want to send back. So here, let's go to start by giving the right application. So for that, we need to go to the factory. The factory is a UI tool for developers to use Sismo and to have access to different tools. So the first one is to create a Sismo Connect apps or to retrieve your existing one. And then we have the Sismo data groups I showed you before, and we are going to dig more into this after. So let's start from the application. Here you can see I've already created it. So I have an application ID I will be able to embed into my projects. You can update it. It's very easy to do. You just have to enter the name, description, a logo, and you create it. It's done right away. So here I'm taking the app ID. I'm going, so in the Sismo Connect on-chain tutorial, I'm going to the main page here. So inside it, you have this directory structure. It's basically a React app, a Next.js React app with Foundry. So here you have CRC, Airdrop, the contract. I will show you later. And here you have the front end with the main page. So at the beginning, so all of this is explained in the tutorial. If you want to do it after, you will have all the steps that is very detailed. To begin with, we need to, so let's try to find the Sismo Connect button, which is here. And we have the config to define. We start by defining the app ID. So this app ID here is the one with for the tutorial. We are going to replace it with our new app ID. Okay, let's come back again to our repository, to our page, doing claim with Sismo. And now we see that we have connect to SafeDrop is Global Waterloo. So let's go back here for what we want. So we want to prove ownership of a Vault ID, share data from Sismo community, and Gitcoin passport more than 15. So what is exactly this Vault ID? So this Vault ID so I have defined it here. Basically, inside your Sismo data vault, you all have a vault secret that was generated when you created your Sismo data vault. Then we just show you that you have an app ID for each app that comes through, that do a Sismo Connect exchange. When you do this and you request a vote, we are hashing in zero knowledge proofs inside the proof, the vault secrets, and this app ID. And also the derivation key is not very important for here, it's 0 by default. But by hashing a vault secret and this app ID, I will have a unique vault ID that is a bit like a user ID that is available for the application and that you can use as a user. So it's really like a unique number, deterministic unique number that I generated using my Sismo data vault. So in the case of the SafeDrop, we are going to use this Vault ID as a nullifier for the airdrop. What it means is that thanks to this, you will be able, each time you do the Sismo Connect flow, you will have always the same Vault ID. So by saving this Vault ID, we know that you are already claiming your airdrop. And we are even going to, so instead of creating a mapping for that, we are even going to use it as the token ID inside the ERC20 airdrop token. So my token ID will be, it will be just nullified in a mapping. We will show you, we will get it later. So here, that means we already have the beginning. That means we already have our Vault ID. Now we need to add the claims. So let's add our claims. And our claims are group membership. So here what it means is that I need to find my groups. For that, I'm going to the factory and going here, you have the Sismo data groups inside Sismo. So you can look here. So here are all the groups that was created, and we can search for the Sismo community, and we find it here. So we have the group ID here. So these groups, you can take a look at what is inside. So inside you have all the data gems of all the users of the Sismo community that did some things. I will show you later what is it, and the value. You can see when it was generated, when will be the next generation, and how it has been generated. So for this, you can click on the data group generator. It's a bit like an infra as a service where you can just code the way you are going to generate these groups, and that will run at a specific frequency. For instance, here, this group generator will run at a daily frequency and execute this code and send back the groups. All of this is open source. You can take a look at all the groups. So some groups has been generated using the factory. Others has been directly coded and did a pull requests into the Sismo hub. So I will show you how you can create a new data group. So to create a new data group, you need to add the name. For instance, here I can save Leo France, and you can add how you are going to create to have these group members. So you can add eligible accounts. To add eligible accounts, it can be very easy, like putting a list of the different accounts. These groups can be also hybrid. So for instance, I could put my GitHub account. I could put some Twitter account. And you have also a Telegram account. You can also add a value, a level for each account. For instance, I will say 1 for this one, 3 for this one, etc. So this is a way to add data. So here it's just static data, so it can't be really interesting, but you have data providers inside these data groups that will help you to fetch data from the outside world. So here you have a full list of data providers. For instance, we can say, okay, we are going to use the GitHub data providers to get all the contributors of a repository. So for instance, we can take Sismo core, Sismo hub. It will find 66 eligible accounts and put them inside the group. And here you have some descriptions, a bit like metadata around the groups, and then you can just deploy it. When you do this, it will automatically generate a pull request on this repository, which is open source. And this pull request contains all the Sismo data group and how the data are generated. So let me show you here. We can see that this group was generated with a factory. It takes the is used in all groups and sends this as a data. So we can dig into all of this after. So okay, let's now go to add our Sismo community members and Gitcoin holders. So we take the group ID here, we put it just here. And now we want our Gitcoin passport holders. Let's search for Gitcoin passport holders. Here we can show how it is generated, the same. So we see that we are querying a Gitcoin passport API to generate the group. And we put it here. Okay. Let's go again. Now we are pretty happy because we have our Vault ID, user ID, our Sismo community, and the Gitcoin passport. Here we are only sharing that we have more than one. So we want to request only more than 15 for Sybil-Resistant. So we can just, in our request, add claim type. Okay, so GitHub Copilot do it for me. It's nice. Greater than or equal 15. Okay, I get back, do it again. And now we are good. If you are not inside the groups and you want to test and develop the full flow, we have a feature in the configuration that allow you to impersonate some accounts. So I will show you here. You can put the list of addresses you want to impersonate, and the Sismo data vault will contain all of these accounts. So let's do it again. And I do claim with Sismo. I am now in an impersonation mode. So it's a very specific mode. And in my Sismo data vault, I see all these accounts. So if you want to, I don't know, do for instance, announce DAO holders as information we want to share. You can go to the group, search for a user inside that is eligible, and impersonate this account. You could, for instance, take this one and impersonate it. So I will remove this, and okay. So now that we have done our requests, let's go here. We want to verify inside our contracts these requests and to give the mint. So we go to our airdrop contract, and what we need to do is to have exactly the same request that is coded into the contract. So why that? If someone gives you a proof, this proof in itself doesn't mean anything. This proof means something in the regard of a request. So inside the Sismo Connect library that we implement for the contract, we will verify that this Sismo Connect proof is valid, verifying the ZK proof, but also that it's that it's a zero knowledge proof that was made for these groups. Same for the app ID. So here I need to take the same app ID that I put in the front end. So this is very important, otherwise it won't work because it won't correspond. So both front end and back end, the contract need to be equal. Here you see our airdrop that is a ERC20, and you implement the Sismo Connect library here. And by implementing the Sismo Connect library, you have also the constructor where you use the app ID. This is how the app ID is passed to the library. Okay, so now we need to do the request, so the same thing that we have done, but here. So we are going to add the claim requests. Okay. So we have claims 0, that is a group ID, or we will put our group ID here. So we have public constant Sismo. Oh, okay, he's doing for me. Nice. Sismo community members group. So he knows that I did it a lot of time. Let's verify it's exactly the same. So Sismo community members groups here. It's okay, and the Gitcoin passport here is the good one. So I'm pretty happy. I will change like that. And okay, so here I will put directly the Sismo community members. And for the claims one, okay, nice. So we have the group ID, Gitcoin passport holders, value 15, and greater than or equal. Here we will verify the response, the Sismo Connect response, which is passed here as an argument to be sure that it's valid. So we need to add also the claims, which we have just declared before. And so if the result is valid, we continue here. We extract the vault ID. We nullify the vault ID as already claimed. So it's made here. And we verify that the vault ID was not used before. And we mint to the sender the amount. Here we can see also the signature, which contain inside my address. And it's used to avoid the front running I told you about. So here I just need also, so as I have multiple claims, I also need to put an array here. So the hot requests. Okay. So now we are pretty good for the contracts. I'm just checking that this is good. So we have the app ID, and we have the same hot and claim. So I think we are pretty good. Okay, now let's deploy. So in the tutorial, we have all the steps for you to deploy. I have already set up a mnemonic here to gain some time. we are using Foundry, so we just have to do a for script deploy airdrop. We have our RPC already set up. We are going to send it and to verify it. So let's go. Once during the time it's deploying, I will change here the address. So here we were using a Mumbai fork in local. So I will put the ID of the chain. So this is a WebMe configuration you may already know. And I need to change to use Polygon. So all of this is explained in the tutorial. So it seems to have been deployed. And now it's verifying the contract. So let's go checking. So 18 seconds ago, it's here. Okay, now it's deployed. And we can see that we have our app ID, community ID, and we have all our code. So let's go back now to our front end, switch to Polygon, and claim with Sismo. So here we are not in impersonation mode. So you can see here my accounts, generate ZK proof. And claim the airdrop. So it's working. Let's send this. Going again to the transactions. And we can see it here. So EtherScan, Polygon scan. Yeah, claim with Sismo. And we see our I think I need to go here. Okay, it's not well indexed for now, but yeah, we can see that we have we had our airdrop token of 100 here. So the full case study is available here, as I show you at the beginning. You can deep dive more on when we had a different level, when we had different groups ID, and how we compute the final amount of token. Here it was only 100. Yeah, thank you for your time. Enjoy your hacks. And if maybe we have any questions available, or I don't know if we have the time. No, we don't have the time. Okay.